All right. So welcome back. So we are here to get these speck of dream dust. So we're gonna go here and do all this stuff. So we now have Ice Armor rank 2, which is nice. Um, so we got Mage Water, never leave home without it. Alright, so we can go here, get this, and
Mukra. Drink.
we'll just go ahead and Rethi. Oops. Oh. Okay. So I can't go out this way. Apparently I have to...
I'm out of range. It's too far away. That spell isn't ready. Just still recharging. Cast that yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. That yet. That's still recharging. Spell isn't ready yet. recharge in. Recharge in. It's too far away. That's still recharge in. recharging. Still recharging. Cast that yet. I'm out of range. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. recharge in. I can't cast that yet. Spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharge in. My mana is low. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. It's too far away. Can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. See you later. Charge in.
Health warning.
I can't.
Health warning. Health warning.
Charge in.
Health warning. Health warning. Health warning. Health warning.
Isn't ready yet.
Health warning. Health warning. Health warning.
That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready. Can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. Can't cast that yet. That spirit isn't ready yet. That's the charge in. I can't yet. That spirit isn't ready. That's the charge in. I can't cast that yet. Charge in. Charge in. Can't cast that yet. yet.
Health warning. Health warning. Health warning. Health warning. Health warning.
Spell isn't ready yet.
Health warning. Health warning. Health warning. Health warning.
Spell isn't ready yet.
warning.
That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast
Health
that.
warning.
That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet.
Health warning. Health warning. Health warning.
That's still recharging. Can't cast that.
Health warning.
That's still recharging.
Health warning. Health warning.
That spell isn't ready. That's still recharging. Cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
Health warning. Health warning. Health warning. Health warning.
Cast that yet.
Health warning.
That's the charge in. The spell isn't ready yet.
Health warning.
That's that yet. That's the charge in. I can't.
Health warning.
The spell isn't ready yet.
Health
That's still
warning.
charge in. I can't cast that yet. The spell isn't ready yet.
Health warning. Health warning.
Will anniversary force you into... I'm assuming... From what I've been told, your anniversary servers will transfer... Well, they'll force you to go TBC, I believe. Now... Maybe you can stay. I really don't know. I don't know if they've ever given that option in the past. I would treat it as they would force you. That's because the era servers. I mean, that's the whole reason. That's the whole reason the era servers exist, right? So unless they give you that option, I don't know if they gave that option this time though. So I would start an era.
Health warning. Health warning.
Like I would start a era server character if you're worried about that. Basically,
Health warning.
I wouldn't risk it.
Health warning.
That's what I would do, but I really don't know. So. Also, welcome to the stream. Well, I'm on an anniversary server because I plan on playing the Burning Crusade. So when it comes out, more than likely. Good. Okay. I guess I want to go down here. That is a large dragon. I'm gonna run over here because that's a large dragon. So we're gonna...
Health warning. Health warning. Health warning.
Squirrels, unite!
Thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. Currently living Orc Warlock on Anniversary. Never played Lock on TBC. How are they in TBC? Lock is like the #1 DPS you can do until like Blizzard just padded the numbers for them. I think pretty much every single patch and expansion up till Warlords of Draenor, I think, and then they took like an expansion off. Like locks were still good, but they weren't like meta, you know. So but for the most part, I think locks are pretty good in TBC. I mean, they're just now I don't know which spec. I think Affliction is really good. I think Affliction's where it's at in TBC. For Warlock. But they have versatility. They bring a lot of utility. You know, they bring all the normal things to raid. So, what are we risking for the biscuit? He's asking. So there's a there's two servers. There's 20th anniversary servers, and then there's regular era servers. Era servers will never change from classic. It'll constantly be classic forever, okay? Just perpetual classic. What this does is it gives you unlimited time to get unlimited drops off of a classic server, okay? That will never go past that. What the anniversary does is it will eventually, after 2 years or a year and a half or whatever the season is for the expansion, it will then flow into the next expansion naturally, as if it was on launch. So basically, you can play the entire series of World of Warcraft games, like each expansion successively, and then work as if you started on day 0 for Classic, and then went all the way through all the expansions, and it'll just go that way perpetually until it's the end, and then they'll start over again, and then do it again. It gives people the chance to get to relive that day one release feel in 20 years later. Basically, it's the closest thing you can get to that feeling, and it's really good at that too. It's very good at that. So that is what. So risking it for the biscuit in this point is if Blizzard doesn't give, if you level on a anniversary server that is going to eventually change over into Burning Crusade, is Blizzard going to give you an option to keep your classic character in an era server, or do you have to change to the Burning Crusade, which is kind of a feel-bad moment if you spend 10,000 hours on a character and then you realize, well, I don't really want this to go into the Burning Crusade. You know, I'd rather just keep this in Classic and be able to do this. So it's kind of like keeping from a feel-bad moment kind of thing. So that's the question at hand. And the answer to that is, I don't know. But if you're going to play it safe, just go in the era server. If you want to, and Zach says, risk it for the biscuit, and you should level a character on the anniversary, and then hopefully give you something else, you know. But it's all about your intentions. If you truly want it dedicated to a classic server, I would toss it to
Go with honor.
I would say just go ahead and level it on an era server. Like there's no reason not to, basically. Dumpers out for Unity. Everything, yeah. Yeah,
Go forth to victory.
so there's just a lot of in-depth everything in this game. It's very, from the lore and the storyline to the way you play, the server, the amount of server. There's just a lot of, the learning curve is quite high. There's certain things about this game that I still don't know, and I've been playing for a very long time, and they're very niche things as well. So yeah. Okay, Sawtooth Snapper Claw. Okay, I guess I'm going down here. Alright, let's see what the drop rate is on these.
That's the charge in. To cast that yet.
Yeah, so Demonology has always been the tankiest. It's always been the tank survivable spec of the class. Yeah, there's a lot of people that enjoy Demonology for that reason. Because they're just so tanky as a caster. Which in my opinion, it is survivability as a caster is you don't consider that. Like you're never like, oh man, this caster is going to be tanky, you know. And then you get into a PvP situation and you do your combo and they're at 75% health or half health and you're about dead and you're going through your stuff and you're just out attritioning them. They have to play a different game against you versus the other warlocks or other casters, you know, because that mages have to outwit you, kind of thing. So to where a demonology warlock can sit there and just take it to the face, and why those dots are burning, you know. think like also like as a caster having that survivability is really like it's advantageous in a hardcore scenario as well. Like you're more it's not always the way you want to play the game or like look at the game, but it is definitely an aspect that is underutilized as a caster. Like because as a demonology warlock, you kind of have a lot of options, and then also you have all your pets, your demons, and you can like you can strategize differently. Like so in obviously if you're playing hardcore, you're not necessarily focused on PvP so much, but what you are, obviously in a PvE situation, being a little bit more tanky, being able to take these blows, and then having the utility that your demons bring to the table as well is going to help you, and obviously your survivability things like having a health stone, having soul stone, having all these different like qualities that you can do. Corrupting blood, the aura buff that you give party members and stuff, and I think you get that as demonology. I think all warlocks in classic get that. Like so you're just like your health pool is just way bigger for compared to any other qualifier in caster, which is just. It's different. It's a different way to play the game, and what it does is it gives you like variety. It gives you, and it makes the game different for you, basically. And that's important to a lot of people. Now some people don't care. Some people just want to play meta. They just want to do the basic build, cookie cutter build. They want cookie cutter bits, and the thing with classic is there's a little bit more. There's actually different builds. There's just one kind of universal cookie cutter build that is meta. But what you can actually do is there's actually a lot of places that you can customize your character. So now, with that said, you also have to customize your stats usually with it in your gear. So Biss for the cookie cutter build is not going to be Biss for your build, and you have to keep that in mind. And you might have to do a little bit of number crunching to figure it out, and which could be good and could be bad. But one thing that's going to be really bad about it is you're probably going to take another class's piss, that you're normally not taking. So you're going to piss somebody off basically, and because eventually you're going to get pre-biss or biss, and you're going to take a healer. You're going to take a healer piece of gear that is clearly a hero piece of gear, but because it's your build is different and kind of more of a heal step. It's maybe you run more spirit, than normal. You know what I mean? Because you're kind of going for you're not necessarily doing it for the mana regen, but you're doing it for the health regen because you're kind of tankier. You're kind of playing. You're playing a different kind of game, and that's important to kind of consider. Because you're playing the game differently, so there's that, and classic. That is the really good thing about classic is the numbers are so they're so close together and they're not inflated artificially, and you don't have to worry about a bunch of balancing issues. The game is quite balanced overall. Minus the fact that Paladin is unplayable other than the healer. There's some definitely like loser classes and specs. Like there's just unplayable things in competitive scene. However, I think for overall, if you really dive into it, into the numbers and stuff, I'm pretty sure you can pretty much make anything viable, you know. So and then if anything, you can add like having like one warlock in every raid is probably a thing. So like one enhancement shaman is probably going to be a thing. Elemental shaman, I think, is the shaft early. But, you know, like Shadow Priest, nobody's going to run Shadow Priest unless you just don't need a healer for a fight. You know, you're there and you don't want to swap out or whatever. But that's more of a raid organization thing, because you bring the priest for the other reason, you know, to heal, because they're just the best healer for a lot of reasons. So you also have that. So. Oh man.
I'm out of range. cast that yet.
Yeah. So I think that just means you're a quality player, basically. That your play level far exceeds your or your skill level far exceeds the majority of players. Right. But rogue is about knowing combat timers and getting a little bit of luck. You know, it's about sapping with poisons on. You know, it's about disarming. You know, and things like this, and understanding that full rotation. The thing is rogues aren't the end all be all if you counterplay correctly. The problem with rogues is if you make one mistake, and if they make one mistake, then it's on. Like, it's a scramble. It's a scramble who can do it, or the person with the one trinket that has the one extra cooldown. That makes all the difference to break the stun, to break the sap, to break, to get out of whatever they're trying to do to you. So there's that, basically. I agree. But as a specialist, that's what makes the game fun. You know, if you really understand your class on that level to where you can pretty much outplay any class, any situation you may be in. Obviously, there's some things you're going to lose or something like that, but if your win percentage is 75% of the time, in your skirmishes or your duels or whatever, like you're good. You're at a different level than the average player. So, and the thing is, in Classic, those things matter more in Classic a little bit. I'm not saying they don't have niche things in retail or in other expansions. They do. It's just you notice it a whole lot more in Classic. Because there's some disparities between the two. Started at 05. Play till MoP, then private search. Yeah. I mean, there's different levels, man, and if you're in the top 5%, man, you're pretty much like you're up there. So, I mean, if not, that's fine too. Like, a lot of people don't care about that. Logs and stuff for retail, they kind of separate they separate players out from skill level, give a little bit of objectiveness to who's in the top 5% or who's in the top 1%. It's just the top 5% is a lot condensed, is more condensed than the top 5% in retail, you know. So, and that's not, that is a pure numbers. That's not against one or the other. That's not a, that's a very neutral statement to say, but it's true that the span between, like, players, like, a 95% parser and a 99% parser are very, like, night and day. And it's not that they're both good players, and this is the other thing. This is the other thing is, the 95 percent parser is probably has the capability of getting 99. It's just they're missing like one key thing in the fight or something like that they don't understand. And in Classic, I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think between a 95 and a 99 parser in Classic is night and day. I think that is very much a bigger gap there. So, but I think numerically, I think it's closer. But I don't want to argue that because it's just a decimal point that we're. I would only be arguing a decimal point versus actual skill level in the amount of skills. Like you get, like in Classic, you get. What am I trying to say? You get rewarded for knowledge. In retail, you get rewarded for being consistent and being able to do the same thing over and over again very effectively and efficiently. Obviously, you have to know your class to the highest of its ability, but you get rewarded more for that knowledge in Classic than you do in retail. Because of just the way things are set up, the way they kind of go about it.
Full. I need to get closer. Cast that. can't carry anymore.
I need to get some to drink real quick. I'll be back. Just a moment. All right. Let's get back here. Oh. Dun, 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 dun.
Inventory is full. I'm out of range. Got spare ready. Can't cast that yet.
All right, so I'm gonna go down here. Dun, 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 dun.
Health warning. Health warning. Health warning. Health warning. Health warning. Health warning.
What do you need? For the Horde. Down. My mana is low. Stronghold. Strength. Go with honor.
Alright, so you get to hear the Murloc sound.
Charge in. I can't yet. Not still will charge in. Is that yet? That spell isn't ready yet. Is that yet? Charge in.
Health warning.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Health warning.
Charge in. That spell isn't ready yet.
Health warning. Health warning. Health warning.
Phew. That was close.
Health warning.
Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that.
I'm out of range. Past that yet. Charge in. That spell isn't ready yet.
Health warning. Health warning.
I can't carry anymore.
Health warning. Health warning. Health warning. Health warning.
Their AQ is harder in general. There's some damage requirements. There's some damage requirements and some mechanics in AQ that will just will just wipe the raid. If you don't do it correctly. And Nax requires for patchwork, it requires a damage. It has a built-in DPS check to patchwork in Nax. So yeah. So you have that. Other than that, man, it's not much different than raiding any other thing. And I will say that Nax has some simple mechanics that you have to follow as well. Mostly positioning. Like 4 horsemen. Like there's some things in Naxxramas that are just punishing, okay? Like if your group does not stand in the right position, doesn't bring the right amount of DPS, doesn't focus, like they're very, very simple concepts that you have to do. They're not very comp dependent other than basic overall DPS check. That's really about it on that front. Everything else is pretty much normal when it comes to like raiding and stuff. So that's the way I look at it anyway. Now, have I done it in Classic? I did it back a long time ago, 20 years ago. So I haven't raided Nax in current content for a very long time. But it's fun. I mean, if you really, really want to know, you can just watch a YouTube video about it. But if you kind of want to go in blind, like you're going into it, in 2005, then do that. Go in blind. learn the bosses as you
Health
go.
warning.
You know, have some. The raid leader will sit there and explain it to you. It's not super hard, and most of the time you can just follow someone else. You know, like, oh hey, I'm a healer or a ranged caster, and I'm gonna stand where all the other ranged casters are. It's not, you know, it's not like crazy hard mechanics or anything like that. However, positioning, what it does do is the fundamentals of positioning and the fundamentals that you must meet this DPS requirement to be able to move on in the raid. So, and basically, when the DPS for a classic thing, it's a gear check. Basically, did you do the work outside of raid to be able to do this? AQ has the similar things, so AQ is longer, but that's just because the raid is overall bigger. Nax has the 4 quadrants, and then Kael Kathad, and then Sargeras. Or Cindergrosa, sorry. Not Sargeras. Sargeras is not a dragon, so. So, like I said, if you want to get the WoW factor again in it, just don't look at any of the rates. Just get attuned, and walk in there natty, and get that experience again.
I need to get closer.
And if you don't care, just kind of look in and see what it takes to get in there. I mean, for the patchwork fight, you either meet that requirement or you don't. Like, there's no there's just certain number of requirements that you must meet this metric, or you might as well just not be in the raid at all.
Charge in.
Health warning.
Cast that yet.
Health warning. Health warning. Health warning.
Oh yeah. Well, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I post in guild chat. I try not to spam it too much, but I probably do it. If I'm doing an 8-hour, I probably press it like 3, 4 times, which I think is acceptable. So just kind of say, some people like to watch people play as they're playing and farming, because you get a sense of community that way. So I kind of, or if they want to see a mage or the other class in action, it's always a good thing.
Isn't ready.
Yeah, living. They still haven't figured out how to balance living bomb yet. Ever since living bomb became a thing for a mage,
I'm out of range.
they there's no balancing with living bomb. They either it's OP and it's the best thing ever, or it's just not worth picking up as a talent. very it's 100% either way. Like it's either the best thing in the world or nothing. And there's not a whole lot of talents in there. And you honestly, it's really good for like change of gameplay, change of pace, because you know when Living Bomb is the proper meta build, you know it's going to be good. You know it's going to pump out the best DPS and best numbers, which is what you want it to do. And it has a different feel, different play style, different tempo. It requires different positioning, different timings, which is all things you want when you're considering like a change of play style between different kind of builds and things like that, and while still being the up and up in damage. The problem is when Living Bomb isn't good, it's so bad you don't even want to pick it up as a talent tree because you'll just never hit the button. Like very, very niche situations would you hit the button, like 8 or more targets, and for this instance, like retail Living Bomb was just kind of good in retail again, and the whole reason why is because that the passive, it wasn't Living Bomb that was amazing, it was Ignite was amazing. So basically all of your fire dots basically instantly went over. It basically instantly carried over to other surrounding people.
Health warning.
So, my contact is...
Health warning. Health warning. Health warning.
There we go.
Health warning.
We'll go over here.
Health warning. Health warning. Health warning.
Yeah, there's some things about WoW that are really, really nice. Like I said, you can get a change of pace. But what stinks is there is a meta build typically, and that meta build is just BIS. And a lot of people will force that build no matter what. So, and for obvious reasons, if you're doing the toughest content in the game, like if you're doing week 1, like week 2 mythic progression in retail, like we totally understand. If you're not doing that, then you need to take a seat back and be like, hey, there's other options to be within a percentage, within a percentage of DPS of overall numbers of this. So, but when you're talking about, millions of damage, and billions of damage, 1% is quite a bit, And I think that's where people get lost in retail, is the number inflation. So that's something that Classic does is really, really nice. Is it's super simple. The numbers, you rarely see a number of like 10,000 other than like raid boss health bars. It's one thing that keeps people coming back to the game is the internal on-the-fly math is actually quite simple, that people can do the math in their head, which I think, if you think when you're 13 to 15 playing this game, and say say you're not very good at math, or you don't like math, or you're not good at doing math in your head real quickly. Wow, think about how many kids, 20 years ago. Think about how many kids got good at doing math in their head, like just quick math problems. Like, okay, if I do this and this ability can do this, and I can do this how many times, like, and to do that on the fly. Think about how many kids got good with mental math skills because of this game. Like you start thinking about little things you do on the fly, and then you're like, oh, well, now I can do this, and now I'm kind of good at math, and I kind of like math. How many people, like, actually went into, like, a more math-based, like, career because of WoW, And I'm not saying the number's probably not zero, and I'm sure it's not like everyone did that, but just things like that, like the mental calculations that you have to do in Classic, and because they're actually reasonable numbers that you can kind of approximate, you don't even have to have it right on. You're just like, yeah, I did that. I did that in my head, it worked, or that didn't work at all, and I need to like run over here, let the mob reset, and rethink my strategy. I think those things like carry over in life a little bit, so. Yeah. I think a lot of that, yeah, a lot of it's going for logs. But I think also a lot of it goes for just kind of prestige and glory. You have to, people wrap their ego around this stuff, and it's not all ego, but it's competitive against themselves, competitive against the ladder. The ladder players that are trying to do the exact same thing. Hardcore is an extension of that, except for on the survivability front. But in my opinion, the hardcore part of it isn't. If you have a group, like OnlyFans, if you have a consistent group guild that is actually putting forth the effort and the mindset and actually care to achieve a goal within a certain amount of frame of time, hardcore is great. I think for the player that doesn't have that group, I think hardcore is awful. It's not awful. It is a less fulfilling. It's a less fulfilling version of the game, in my opinion, especially for newer players. I think hardcore for new players is not the way to go. But, for obvious reasons, because you have to be able to learn, because if you don't spend couple hundred hours just learning your class, did you even play World of Warcraft? Like if somebody hand fed you, do this, and you'll win. Like, did you even play the thing? Unless, how many mistakes, oh, here's this is what you do. Like, that's not what this game's about. That's not what Classic's about. Anyway, now if you want to go to retail and do that, by all means, go do that. I think that competitive scene sits there, and it sits there for a reason. And I think it belongs there, but it needs to kind of stay there. I don't think Classic is necessarily the correct environment for that to occur, at least healthily. Like, I don't think there's anything healthy about it. Like, in retail, I think it's a little bit more healthy because it's marketed towards that. Like the whole version of like M+ keys. Mythic Plus and the infinitely scaling content to where things just get harder and harder and harder until a group can't do it in a given week, given gear restraints. So, I tend to agree with you that the competitive needs to be kind of a black pearl. That competitiveness needs to be kind of thrown towards retail a little bit more and away from classic. And classic was never meant to be played that way. It was at one time. Like, if you're playing week 1 and you're trying to full clear this stuff, I mean, you can't get world bust because you haven't done that yet. So the fact that they're trying to power clear stuff is just kind of like, well, we can do it, like we should. So but I think doing that stuff on hardcore means a little bit more. But at the same time, like, I don't think you want newer players playing hardcore so much. I think it takes away from the overall game, what the overall game was supposed to be. The essence of the game, what it really means to play World of Warcraft. And I'm not taking away from the game experience, but I am, like, if I ever meet somebody that played this game and just wanted to do biz things and not just roam around and learn on their own, I think they're missing out on an experience. They're missing out on an experience that they'll never be able to get back, basically. To just wander around this map for, 200 hours. And just enjoy the leveling experience. Just enjoy the experience and go with literally nothing. And if you do it without add-ons, like going through it again with add-ons to kind of show me where things are, so I don't have to do that again. But the thing is I've already had that experience without the add-ons, without everything. So I kind of know the generality. I also have another 15 years of playing retail as we went through the years. So my opinion is kind of formulated from I've had that experience, and I think that experience is very, very important to newer players. And I think for players that don't get that, I think they'll look at this game as any other game. And I think it'll be easily compared to anything else that has come out in the last, 10 years or so. And I think they're doing themselves a disservice if they think that they got the same play experience as somebody did 20 years ago. And I know it'll never be quite the same, but to play this game without add-ons for the first time and play all the way through 60 and and get it tuned and everything, even if somebody kind of helps you through it or you ask a friend or a guildie or something like that, like going through that process, it's so much more of an experience and in depth to do it. Just do it once. You don't have to do it every time. Like, I think the add-ons are great now, like I said, but and then people are like, well, I don't have time for that. Like, this is like your in-depth experience to this world and this universe, and I just like, if everyone had that experience, they would look at, and I think some of them have, and some are like, this is great. and then you add on the add-ons later and make things a little easier, and you're like, well, that was cool. I'm glad I don't have to do that again. So, the quality of life comes afterwards, and that's what makes it nice. Oh yeah, definitely. And well, I think that's the internet in general. But yeah, obviously if you play a game or use an app that is, 95 or whatever percentages of a certain language, and you want to learn that language, obviously you're going to like excel at that, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, well, it's just another example of kind of life skills or skills that start in the classroom that meant to do it, but WoW is kind of the place that you can express yourself freely, and type to people in a manner that is like both. It's kind of semi-professional, a little bit, and I say that with a huge grain of salt because of the amount of trolls, but just how to like conduct yourself with people online. Like, obviously there's bad actors out there and stuff like that, but and trolls, of course, that are just going to try to get underneath everyone's skin no matter what. But like how you deal with those people kind of matters, and and obviously if English isn't your first language or English is second language, this is a great place to learn that. So chill leveling, chill rating, PvP and classic. Yeah, pretty much. I think it's the general consensus now that the leveling experience in WoW Classic is everything, and then retail is all in-game, which is totally cool, because I think people want to get their in-game fix, their rating fix, and they're high-paced, high number, high volume, button mashing. They want that experience. And they can't get that. They really can't get that experience many other places. So they are filling a niche, So they are filling a niche, and that's good that the niche exists, because then classic and retail can both kind of live in harmony, and they don't have to compete with each other, because they're after two distinctly different things. And in my opinion, it's mostly mindset that they're going after. Like, I think retail requires to be the top 5% retail player takes a different mindset than to be a top 5% classic player, in my opinion. There's a mindset difference there. They do obviously converge at some point, and they overlap in a lot of ways as well. And you'll be rewarded, like a lot of the good habits in retail
Health warning.
will reward you heavily in classic if you do them well, because obviously
Health
it's a
warning.
derivative of the same game. But there's a lot of things. There's a lot of good habits in retail that in classic you'll be punished for. Mostly raid leading, mostly organizational stuff. Over here. So, like, I think raid leading and both are really important, but I think per global cooldown, I think there's more emphasis in classic than there is in retail. I think you can screw up global cooldown, quite a few global cooldowns, and down content in retail. I don't think you can waste that many global cooldowns in classic and still down content because of the nature of the game. One of the big things is, and I know world buffs kind of screw this up, but the fact that you're going with haste in general is that you can directly manipulate your global cooldown, the internal global cooldown, basically, with direct haste, basically. And obviously we get world buffs that increase our haste of melee and ranged weapons and things like that. But in no way, there's no better equivalent to anything in the game is to increase your haste in this game. But yeah, I mean, it's the chill vibe. Like I said, it's a mindset. It's more of a mindset. It's less competitive. There's competitive nature. People want to do good damage. They just don't want the stress that comes along with, they don't want a dictator, they don't want a dictator raid leading classic. They just don't want that. It can exist and it does exist, but they just don't. Here in classic, that doesn't work. That doesn't equal success. Even if you kill the boss, which most groups will. Even if you clear the content, you don't want that. Because in classic, it's not about that. Now in retail, when things are a little bit more I don't want to say cutting edge, more competitive. They're more competitive. You're splitting. There's a little bit more emphasis on perfection and movement and everything else. It's a faster paced game. There's a lot more going on. You're using a lot more add-ons to get a lot more information into you. You're juggling a lot of information, and then obviously raid leading and stuff like that. But so we have that, and so retail's a different beast. I think retail can you find more of that. I don't want to say dictatorship, but more of a heavy hand leadership in retail because it's warranted, basically. But it's not always necessary. I would say that most guilds don't have that. I say most guilds don't like to play with that. But then, but I would say that most guilds that get, if you're clearing the top Mythic content rating, if you're clearing that, I bet your guild is pretty militant, more than likely. Especially if you're raiding 6 days a week for the first 6 weeks of the patch. I would. So, and I think that's pretty proven. Just watching the Race to World First and stuff, and how they're very precise. They're very. I'm not saying that they don't necessarily have to be raising their voices or anything like that, but I think they're very demanding of their players. But most of them are getting paid, so they have a different kind of because you add the incentive of getting paid into it. They now have kind of a line of employment kind of thing, well, we can talk to you this way because we're paying you, kind of thing, and you signed up for this and you're getting paid. So, which isn't a reason to. It's not an excuse to treat people poorly or whatever, but I do think that it can be used as leverage to get by with a little bit extra. If you had a bad you'd feel the same way as if so like, and I don't think a lot of like upper guilds are like that necessarily, but I think there's definitely the realm of, well, because we're paying you, we can kind of, you're expendable kind of thing. Like, because we're paying you, we can just not pay you anymore, and then, you know, treat it like a business proposition, which makes it easy in a lot of ways, but it also sucks in a lot of ways as well. So that's the one thing. That's the one thing that, like, when OnlyFans and stuff do classic and stuff, you know that on the back end they're getting paid for it, so it's like, you know, the drama and stuff, you have to be like, okay, with a huge grain of salt, was this legit drama? You know, was this person mad? Or are they just kind of like throwing it out there to get clicks and stuff like that? Like, I'm not saying they are, but if I'm in the business of getting clicks and getting views, I mean, and you hire a bunch of actors to do this, and, you know, today you're going to take a fall on your character and you're going to blame X, Y, and Z why this happened, and, you know, I'm not saying that ever happened, but, you know, come on. So, and some of it's too good to be scripted. Like, some of it's just like, yeah, that happened. Like the double RNG on Nixia for OnlyFans, like, it had, like, I don't even know what it was. It was like it was 40 times 40. There, yeah, it was like 1 to the 40th times 1 to the 40th, which is 1 to the 16, like 1 out of every, like, 1,600 pulls will this happen. And it happened. To where you get 2 random fireballs placed on you based on how many people are, because what it does is it scans the particular mechanic. It picks a random person. It picks a random person, and there's 2 rolls for it. Each roll goes to a certain player. Now, if you just take 1 fireball, it's not lethal damage. If you take both, like, so 1 out of every 1,600 times, the same person will receive both fireballs and just fall over. That doesn't really mean much in, like, the grand scheme of all, when, you know, just regular WoW and stuff. But you put hardcore into this, that you have 1 in 1,600 chance just to die. Like, just gone. And and the fact that it happened on this, you know, on this raid, and I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, yeah. Like, what are the odds? And so, and what's that as a decimal? That is a decimal of, okay, it is 0.0000625%. That is or I guess it's 0.0625%, sorry. But as a decimal, it's decimal place 3 zeros 625, which is abysmal. It's like, it is just an abysmal number for it to happen live on there, and then for somebody to die to it. You're just like, wow. So but that's also, like, that kind of stuff makes it kind of entertaining in a way. Like, the random RNG part of it that shouldn't have happened, that there's no way it should have happened, but it did. So I enjoyed that part of it.
Health warning.
Man, come on, man.
Health warning.
I need to get these
Health warning.
these murlocs in the
Health warning.
they're in the huts. So,
Health warning.
yeah, these murlocs are in the huts, and
Health warning.
and I have to kill like 8 of them or something like that. Yeah, so but all these things respawn, and there's only like 2 of these huts. It's like in this, they're in this, and over here. And then every time I try to go over here and get it, like something's
Far away.
over here, and I'm like, it sucks.
Cast at you. That's still recharging. I need to get closer. Isn't ready yet. Cast that yet.
So I'm dog sitting, and I have to go pick out this dog. So it's gonna be a minute. So I apologize in advance. Sorry. So I'll be back in, I don't know, probably 10 maybe. So I'm sure I died to something. No, I'm not AFK too long. I probably there's a thing in the game where some I died because some enemy came up and hit me, and I was AFK. So basically, I have to help somebody with a vehicle. So I apologize, stream. And so I will more than likely be back streaming tomorrow. Because I gotta help somebody out. So I was not planning on doing this this mechanical event today. Oh no, I haven't been to sleep. But I'm gonna go work on a car. So that should be fun. So, like I said, but by the time I go work on the car and get that done, and that'll probably take a few hours, I'll probably just crash. So I can probably just grab. I'm gonna just log out here. I'm pretty sure there's nothing here, so I'll just log out here. Yeah, I don't tell anybody that, by the way. And I'm not. I'm good for certain things. So, I've replaced a lot of things on vehicles, but nowadays they're really, really hard to work on. So, there are more computers than cars, almost. So, and half the time it's a sensor thing. Yeah, I mean, I can help, but you know, there's only so much I can do, and but yeah, you're right. So I don't really talk about it too much. Like, I've rebuilt a couple engines from the ground up, so, and transmissions, but yeah, I don't talk about it a lot because a lot of people don't talk about it. So it's a skill I can always fall back on. You know, I understand combustion engines and stuff like that, so, which is good. And obviously I understand computers at a very high level, so putting them together isn't really rough. The thing is all the computer junk gets in the way of all the mechanical stuff, and you can't like work on it. So it's just really hard to work on vehicles nowadays. So, anyway, sorry for the. I mean, there's only so much you can do. Like, if you crack your block or something like that, like, obviously, like, there's some major like issues, but there's there's little things that you could save some money, but there's some things that you can save a lot of money, like changing your brakes, changing your rotors, changing like things like that, changing your shock, like, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, there's thing. Oh yeah, changing your oil but changing your oil saves you what, $20. So $20-$30, like, depending on the vehicle you have. It's really not a savings, I promise you. I'd rather pay somebody to change my oil just because so, even though it's really easy to do. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta go help somebody, so I got another couple hours of work in front of me. So oh, I haven't. So you got that right. Yeah. So, ugh, that's gross. So, yep, that's what I'm saying. That, well, in that regard, like, it's like changing oil. The biggest thing is like what oil to put back in it. Make sure you do it right. Make sure you change the filter. It's not hard. It's more of a hassle than anything else. So, but anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Apologize. I apologize for this inconvenience. I thought I had today all free, basically, to do this, and I don't. So. No, you take it back to the place you bought the oil. So the thing is, if they sell oil, they have to take your recycled oil, your old oil. No. You take it back to wherever you bought your oil. They have to take it back, and they recycle it for you. So that's just good knowledge to know. So, no, I'm thinking about oil. Hey, go to any car parts store, man, and ask them, do you legally have to take old motor oil back? And they do. So, but anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Appreciate the viewership as always. If you haven't followed, subscribe. Please do so. It definitely helps the channel grow, and it's free. I'll be back tomorrow mid-afternoon, early evening, and we'll continue. They have to, man. So, but that's dumb. So anyway, but I appreciate viewership, appreciate everything. Thank you for the subscribes today. It's helpful. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm Skunk and I'll see you later.